John Lusker of Lusker Archery Adventures. Series testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing a brand new head that's hit the market, and they're doing a really good job advertising it. It's just like a mom and pop shop, okay? It's just a locally owned out of Montana, and it's a family owned business, and the guy just has a passion for archery, for bow hunting, and a passion to create this broadhead. So man, props to him, okay? I love it when people pursue their dreams like that. And it's really an interesting one because it's so simple. You would think there's a lot of other broadheads like it, but there's really not. It's relatively unique, and that is the Expire broadhead. I like that name, Expire. It's funny because I was recently doing some testing and noticed how many different broadheads start with EX. There's like the Exodus, now there's this Expire, there's Exact Archery came out a few years ago, the Extract. Okay, those are just four off the top of my head, but EX is a popular broadhead name nowadays, but this is the Expire. So I'm going to be putting this to the test using my regimen for 2026. And for a detailed description of that, please check out the video I posted earlier this year called 2026 Broadhead Test Process, and it'll walk you through it. I'm going to be using my Elite Eon Compound bow set at 62 pounds, 26.5-inch draw. I'm using Bishop Archery arrows at 450 grains. And I'm also using my Ravin LR XBow at 450 feet per second. Okay, let's zoom on in here, check out this new broadhead, some of the design features and specifications, and then put it to the test. Here's a good look at the Expire 100 grain. Man, it spins really well, and just a nice looking solid broadhead. Not fancy by any means, and yet interestingly unique. I was trying to think of other broadheads that are just two blade but have a chisel tip where the blade slides into the ferrule, and I really couldn't think of any. I mean, you know, I think of like a slick trick, and you can take out one of the blades, and then you have a two blade. But and there's like an NAP endgame, but there's certainly not many that have this design, simple as it is. You get the durability of a chisel tip, as well as this pretty sharp cut on contact kind of chisel tip, and then you get the simplicity of just a two blade and the penetration of that. So really cool, simple, but innovative design, if you will. And again, this is the 100 grain version. It's for the materials. You got simple titanium ferrule, all one piece, and then you've got stainless steel blades. The dimensions, they list this is the 100 grain version. They list this diameter as 1¼ inches, 1.25. By my measurements, they all came out at 1.21 inches. And then the tip has a 0.3 inch tip. So it comes out total as 1.51 inches if you include that tip as like it is, like kind of a bleeder, if you will. As for the thickness, the blades are 0.035 inches thick, pretty standard thickness. The length beyond the end of the arrow is 1.4 inches. And it's 100% made in the USA, family owned and made in Montana. The cost of these come out to $70 for a pack of 3, or $23.33 per broadhead. Really look forward to putting this head to the test and seeing how it performs. At 45 yards with the Elite Eon, it got the bullseye, which is a 2-inch bullseye, by the way. And with a Ravin crossbow at 45 yards, it also got that 2-inch bullseye. The flight noise was an 8 on a 10-point scale, whereas a field point is right at 10 points. It took 184 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 10 on a 10-point scale, plus a bonus of 0.16 for being under the threshold of 200. It penetrated 8 inches, which is an 8.89 on a 10-point scale. And it took an additional 45 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9.1 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 65 layers, which is a 9.29 on a 10-point scale. The head's in excellent shape after the 3 shots through the MDF. and it's still in very good shape after the 2 shots through the sheet of steel. There's a little bit of edge chatter on the blades, and the tip got slightly blunted, but otherwise in excellent shape. Here it is after all the durability testing. It did very well. Through the MDF was perfect through the steel plate, slightest bit of edge chatter, the tip got a little blunted, and then into the cinder block you can see the ferrule got a bit bent there, and then that affects the rotation, but it held together structurally well, so pretty impressive durability. So what'd you think? Man, this is just a good broadhead. It's just a good, solid, overall broadhead. It got a solid score because it performed really well in pretty much every area. The only knock, if you will, is it's got, it's just 2 blades, has a little bit smaller cut size than some, but with that chisel tip, it adds a little bit of cut to that. But man, it just did really well. But you check out the score sheet and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most, and see if it might be a good fit for you. And stay tuned for a summary of the scores. You can find the detailed score sheet in the video description, as well as a link to an Excel spreadsheet that I have that'll break down all the scores of every head I've tested for the last several years. But stay tuned for a summary of the scores, as well as the overall cumulative score and the corresponding Lusk grade. And also stay tuned for a list of all the discount codes I can offer just to help you save some money in the field. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you next time.